he building in there? What the hell is he building?
Hi, welcome to this, my first video in the Great Guitar Build-Off 2021 Scratch build. My name is B1 Louder, the sound engineer formerly known as Scott, aka the Electric Sex Machine. Yeah, that guy. Guilty as charged. The sunglasses? No, not to hide my identity, but for those of you who are not familiar with my history or my channel, which I assume are most of you, it's a result of a skateboard accident, not of my doing. However, I am tragically hip. No, that's not a gratuitous attempt at eliciting support from any Canadian viewers. Time for coffee. I'm participating in the scratch build side of the contest, which may be a little ambitious. This is my first scratch build, although I'm no stranger to building parts casters and doing repair work and my own maintenance. With the huge amount of entries, if we get to the end, I'm relatively confident that I'll finish somewhere in the top 300. GGBO 21 is a global event. Not only do we have the likes of seasoned professionals pitting their skills against relative newcomers and novices such as myself, there's a broader international flavour this year, and even more pleasing is the emergence of variety with acoustic builds this year, and diversity with more female participation. So what am I building this year? Well, as a first scratch build, it's generally recommended that we start off with something like a Telecaster. I won't bother holding up a template. You all know what a Telecaster looks like. I don't think so. In last year's competition, the winners, Texas Toast, asked, what would Brian Nutter do? This year, I'm asking, what wouldn't Brian Nutter do? And another very important question. What would Leo Fender do if he dropped acid? But seriously, what am I building? Well, I know a lot of you are expecting multiple necks from me. That might be a little ambitious for somebody who hasn't successfully built a single guitar neck yet, so we might leave that on hold. Having brought up Leo's name in vain, something broadly Fenderish, and of course, like a lot of you, I'm a fan of the single pickup guitar, so something with an Esquire flavour could be applicable. I'll be using all Australian timbers in this build, and I think I'm going to do a fabric top. Now, before we get on to the business end of the build video, I should mention that this will be a no frills build, and by that I mean due to a recent storm where I lost the roof off my workshop, we'll be doing this in the kitchen and in my backyard. Okay, See you at the end of the video.
You better come on in my kitchen. There's hard to be raining out there.
Welcome to Kitchen Stadium, and it's time to see if I've bitten off more than I can chew. Today's episode is brought to you by the weenie roller you see me brandishing here. As I mentioned, this is my first full scratch build, and it's also my first attempt at a fabric top. Essentially, it's a new take on wallpapering a guitar body, similar to the Paisley Telecasters built by Fender, famously used by James Burton. There's plenty of YouTube footage on the process, and none better than my friends Matt and Chris at Texas Toast Guitars. If you want to see how it's really done, I suggest you check their series of tutorials out. I'll leave a link in the description below. I decided that the best place to start was the back of the guitar, which I completed off camera, and now I'm working on the front of the guitar, so it's really just a case of rinse and repeat. Yeah, right. Ha! As with most aspects of a guitar build, it's a simple process repeated until it becomes comfortable, familiar, and second nature, with minimal surprise factors. But no matter how much theory you think you may have absorbed by reading and watching, there's no substitute for hands-on experience. And, at times, I think I could have done with a little bit more experience. At this stage, it's a simple procedure. Sanding the body smooth down to 220 grit, applying wood glue with the weenie roller, and then adding the fabric before smoothing it out to remove any air bubbles and creases in preparation for the clear polyester sanding sealer that will follow. I haven't done myself any favours here by opting to use an unconventional guitar body shape for my first attempt, and by that I mean one with a relatively flat body with gentle minimalist roundovers or possible binding. Maybe I shouldn't have encouraged Leo to drop that acid. It really is like trying to wallpaper a surfboard. It is my intention to hopefully join the fabric front to back, which is a pattern matching nightmare, and not to blend the fabric with an airbrush similar to a sunburst fade. We'll see how that goes at a later stage. Binding was never an option, although I did flirt with the idea of faux binding for a while to give the Queensland Cowrie a chance to show off. Whilst it's most probably a little early to be using words like hindsight, but body shape aside, I already have a growing list of things that I would do differently next time around. Next time, I'll leave the neck pocket routing until the body is prepped with sanding sealer. I also erred on the lighter side with the wood glue, as I was concerned about the white wood glue bleeding through this sensational fabric. More glue would have allowed easier manoeuvrability when applying the fabric and made the process a bit less of a struggle. Because of the unusual shape, I most probably used too large a piece of fabric as well before fitting it to trim. I did, however, have a light bulb moment before trimming and used dressmaker's shears, which reduced any feared fraying which might have occurred by trimming the fabric too closely before it got to the rock-hard texture after sealer. So dressmaker's shears, in preference to the more conventional scissors or razor blade, would be my recommendation.
All I wanted papering and parcel it was waste to pull a paper hanger in, and so he made some paste. He bought some rolls of paper, got a ladder and a brush, and with my mother's nightgown on at it he made a rush. When father papered the parlour you couldn't see him for paste, and dabbing it here, dabbing it there, paste and paper everywhere. Mother was stuck to the ceiling, the kids were stuck to the floor. I never knew a blooming family so stuck up before. The Dixon was blue roses with its leaves red, white and brown. He'd stuck its wrong way up and now we all walk upside down. And when he trimmed the edges of the paper with the shears, the cat got underneath it and cut off both its ears. When Father papered the parlour, you couldn't see him for paste. Dabbing it here, dabbing it there, paste and paper everywhere. Mother was stuck to the ceiling, the kids were stuck to the floor. I never knew a blooming family so stuck up before. Soon Dad fell down the stairs and dropped his paper hanger stand on little Henrietta sitting there with her young man. The paste stuck them together and we thought they'd be for life. We had to fetch the parson in to make them man and wife. When Father papered the parlour, you couldn't see him for paste. And dabbing it here, dabbing it there, paste and paper everywhere. Mother was stuck to the ceiling, the kids were stuck to the floor. I never knew a blooming family so stuck up before. We're never going to move away from that house anymore, for Father's gone and stuck the chairs and table to the floor. We can't find our piano, though it's broad and rather tall. We think that it's behind a paper passed up on the wall. When Father papered the parlour, you couldn't see half a paste. And dabbing it here, dabbing it there, paste and paper everywhere. Mother was stuck to the ceiling, the kids were stuck to the floor. I never knew a blooming family so stuck up before.
That went pretty smoothly, don't you think? Hopefully, I can get myself out from underneath all of this and see you for the next episode. Thanks for watching. Bye.